All right, we got to go. And welcome. You're watching the high school baseball game of the week, brought to you by Workhorse Productions. Today we're here at Columbus High School in game one of a best-of-3 series at Randy Jordan Field. And leading things off for the purple and gold today will be Donovan Tate against Taylor Wolf. Tate steps in, hitting from the right side of the box, and the left-hander delivers. The first pitch is popped up high in the infield toward the Hurricane dugout, and Columbus puts it in their pocket. 1 up, 1 down as Tate popped up on the first pitch. So Garrison Boston now steps in, hitting from the right side of the plate as well against Taylor Wolf. The rest of the defense looks like this. Travis Benn is behind the plate. Logan Dollar at first. Zach Laughlin at second. Playing short today is McClendon Hill. And at third is Ethan Brubaker. Out in left field is Bryce Dial. Will Howard is in center. And Matt Taylor is out in right. That pitch missed away, 1-0 now to Garrison Boston. So Boston now steps in, and the left-hander delivers. That one way inside, 2-0 now to Garrison Boston. Boston looks down the third base line, gets the sign from head coach Storchester, and steps in. The pitch. That one in there for a called strike, 2-1. Taylor Wolf back up on the hill. And again, Boston stepping back in the box. 2-1 the count. And the left-hander delivers. Swing and a miss that time. Make it 2-2 now to Boston. And again, Taylor Wolf back up on the hill. The lefty gets the sign from Ben and delivers. Swung on, and that ball fouled back out of play and into the street adjacent the field here at Columbus High School. A beautiful day for baseball and a beautiful field here. It is Randy Jordan Field. The Blue Devils, owners of 9 state championships, and that time Garrison fouls that one off. So Boston again looks down the third base line, and Wolf steps back in. So Boston steps back in, and there you get a shot of Taylor Wolf, and the left-hander delivers. That ball swung on and ripped down the third base line, but it'll be foul, and the count remains 2-2. The good part here is that Garrison Boston using up a couple pitches. Stretch in the pitch from Wolf. Swung on, and that ball hammered towards center field, and it's going to fall in for a base hit, and Boston is aboard, and the Hurricanes have a base runner. So with the runner aboard, Taylor Hightower makes his way to the plate. A real good at-bat there for Garrison Boston. He fouled off a bunch of pitches and kept alive.
So do we also want to admit, Scott, it's a good day for a sunburn?
Definitely, John. Very hot. John reporting for us today down right behind home plate. Obviously, the heat a factor today. That ball back in the pitcher's hands. A base runner here for Taylor Hightower, and 1 out. The left-hander delivers. That one high and away, 1-0. So Taylor Hightower has been a little bit of a slump recently offensively, and today would be a good day for him to break out of that.
You want to call it the John Nelson jinx?
They throw that one back to the first base bag, and the runner is safe. And again, Hightower steps back in. Wolf back up on the hill, and he throws back to the bag at first, and the runner is safe. So Wolf back up on the hill. Runner on first, Garrison Boston. Wolf keeping him honest. The pitch. That one in there for a called strike. Evens the count at 1. And Wolf again goes back to first. That time he just sort of gingerly tossed one over there. A lot of times those lefties can set something up. And that one hit high and into short, right too short, and McClendon Hill puts it in his pocket for the second out of the inning. So Brack Barton now steps in. Cartersville hitters just getting underneath a lot of Taylor Wolf's stuff right now. And just popping it up. We'll see if that changes as the day goes on. Again, a runner at first. And again, they go back to the bag at first. 2 outs. Here we are, top half of the first inning if you're just joining us. No score here from Randy Jordan Field. And Brack Barton steps in to hit from the right side of the plate. Wolf again back to the bag at first, and again the runner is safe. Wolf steps back up. Infield moving around a little bit. And again, Wolf delivers. That ball swung on and fouled down the first base line and out of play over the street adjacent to the field here at Randy Jordan Field. And again, Barton steps back in. Wolf back up on the hill. Lefty checks his runner at first. The pitch. That one in the dirt. 1-1. Travis Benn, new catcher this year for the Blue Devils. And they're very concerned about the runner at first and trying to keep him honest with 2 outs here in the first inning. And again, Barton steps back in. That ball way inside. 2-1 the call. So Garrison Boston goes back to the bag at first, and Brack Barton steps out of the batter's box and then back in. There's a good look at Brack. The count 2-1. Wolf back up on the hill. Runner goes, and that ball popped up in foul territory, but coming over to make the play is Logan Dollar, and he puts it in his pocket for the final out of the inning. Hurricanes get it done off a hit. They leave one. We move to the bottom half of the first. No score from Randy Jordan Field. We'll be right back after this. You're watching coverage of the 2008 AAA State Baseball Quarterfinals. And welcome back. You're watching the Workhorse Productions High School Baseball Game of the Week as we move to the bottom half of the first inning. On the hill today for the Hurricanes, Ben Bridges behind the plate, Tyler Hightower, Brack Barton at first, Chris Huth at second, Garrison Boston at short, Cole Payne at third, and that rounds out the infield for the Canes. Out in the outfield for the purple and gold in left today is Wes Dobson, and center is Donovan Tate, and Adam Thurman has the honors in right field. Leading things off will be McClendon Hill in the first pitch. In there for a called strike, 0-1. So 0-1 the count. And again, Bridges up on the hill, and the right-hander delivers. That one fouled back to the street. Make it 0-2 now. So Hill will step back in. Stretch in the pitch. Swing and a miss that time, and he fans him on 3 pitches. So McClendon Hill will have a seat, and that brings Will Howard to the plate. So Will Howard now steps in. Howard, the hero of the last series, in the pitch. That one high and away, 1-0. Howard steps back in. And the delivery from Bridges, that one swung on and hit deep to center field. Donovan Tate on the run and catches it against the stop. Second out of the inning. So that brings Bryce Dial to the plate. So Dial will step in to hit from the right side of the plate. And again, Ben Bridges back up on the hill. The stretch in the pitch. Swung on, that ball popped up in the infield, calling everybody off as Brack Barton in foul territory. And he makes the final out of the inning. The Blue Devils go in order here in the bottom of the first. We move to the top half of the second. Still no score from Randy Jordan Field. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back. You're watching the Workhorse Productions High School Baseball Game of the Week as we move to the top half of the second inning, and due up for the Canes will be 5, 6, and 7 as Bridges, Thurman, and Jared Watley will come to the plate. Watley DHing today for the left fielder Wes Dobson, and Ben Bridges comes in with an opportunity to help his own cause here against Taylor Wolf. And the first pitch to Bridges, away, a 1-0. John, it seems like a lot of the Hurricane hitters have been popping up here against Wolf.
Well, I actually measured the right field line before the game, came out to 291, so you can sense a lot of guys chasing after it early on.
And there's another one right there. It's in the sun, but coming on to make the play that time was the shortstop Hill, and it's the first out of the inning. So 1 up, 1 down here for the Canes in the second. That brings Adam Thurman to the plate. Thurman will step in, hitting from the right side of the plate. Thurman digs in, and the pitch from Wolf. That one in there for a called strike, 0-1. Thurman steps back in, 0-1 the count. 1 down here in the top of the second, the pitch. That one in there for a called strike, make it 0-2 now to Thurman. Thurman steps back in. Again, the wind blowing a little bit here in right now, and strike 3 as he gets him on 3 pitches. And that's 4 in a row now, retired by Taylor Wolf, and that brings Jared Watley to the plate. Again, you can hear that wind just bustling through here. We're expecting winds of up to 18 miles per hour today, according to the Weather Channel. And Jared Watley steps in now to face Taylor Wolf. And the left-hander delivers that one in there for a called strike, 0-1. So Wolf finding his spots nicely right now. And Watley steps back in. The pitch. That one misses away. And the 1-1 pitch from Wolf. Swing and a miss that time. Make it 1-2 now to Watley. Watley looks down the third baseline, gets the sign, and now steps back in. Again, Taylor Wolf back up on the hill, and the left-hander delivers. Swung on, and that ball ripped into left field. It's down for a base hit. That ball's going to go to the fence. Watley will turn the corner. He's headed to second. We could have a play there, but we won't. And Watley's in with a stand-up double, and the Hurricanes have a base runner now in scoring position, and that brings Chris Huth to the plate. Huth, a dangerous hitter in the bottom of the lineup, steps in with a runner in scoring position and an opportunity to give the Hurricanes the lead here. Again, you can hear that wind blowing against our microphones. Very windy day. The tree line around us shaking. They throw on back to the bag at second where the runner is safe. A first-year starter at catcher here for Columbus, so they play it real tight against the bag when runners get aboard. The pitch swung on, and that ball hit deep towards center field, but it's going to stay in the park, and Will Howard will camp underneath it and make the final out of the inning, and that will do it. The Hurricanes get it done off a hit. They leave one. We move to the bottom half of the second. No score from Randy Jordan Field. You're watching the Workhorse Productions High School Baseball Game of the Week. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back. You're watching the Workhorse Productions High School Baseball Game of the Week as we now move to the bottom half of the second inning. No score from Randy Jordan Field, and coming to the plate will be 4, 5, and 6 as Logan Dollar, Torrey Singer, the DH, and Travis Ben come to the plate here for the Blue Devils. The pitch swung on and fouled back to the stop, 0-1. So again, Dollar stepping back in, hitting from the right side of the plate. Bridges up on the hill, and the right-hander delivers. That one away, 1-1. Bridges back up on the hill. And again, Dollar steps in. Stretch and the pitch. Swung on, that ball hit down the line. Backhanding it is Boston. He fires across the diamond, but not in time. An infield single that time for Logan Dollar. A well-hit ball as he hit it deep. Boston did a nice job of bringing that one back in, but couldn't get the out. So a runner aboard and nobody out here in the bottom half of the second inning, and the Blue Devils threatening. So Tori Singer now steps in. How's that for a last name, John?
You're telling me, buddy.
So Tori Singer, no relation to me, steps in, hitting from the right side of the plate. And the pitch. That one in there for a called strike, 0-1. Singer steps in. The pitch. They throw one back to the bag at first, and the runner is safe. We got time called. Tag was made at first, and now a trainer is going to come out to look at Logan Dollar. So, little delay in the action. It looks like he's all right. Just got some dirt in his eye. I could have just tossed him some contact cleaner. I don't think he needed the trainer out for that one. So stepping back in now is Tori Singer, and the count 0-1. And again, the runner safe at first. Ben Bridges quickly back to the bag at first. 1-1 the count. Singer steps back in. And Bridges delivers. That time they try to bunt it down the first baseline. They do. The Hurricanes get the out easily at first and almost fired around to turn 2. So Dollar moves to second on the fielder's choice, and Singer is out on the sacrifice. And Travis Ben will come to the plate. So stepping back in is Ben. The pitch swung on, that ball hit down the line at third. It's fair. They're going to wave the runner home, and the Blue Devils have grabbed a 1-0 advantage. So an RBI double for Travis Ben, and just like that, the Blue Devils have struck first. They lead it 1-0 here in the bottom half of the second inning. And that brings Ethan Brubaker to the plate. We have a courtesy runner. Actually, a pinch runner for Singer. We bring in Bobby Andrews.
Now batting, the third baseman, number 14, Ethan Brubaker.
So Ethan Brubaker now steps in with a runner in scoring position and one out. Brubaker, the 7-hitter in this Blue Devil lineup, steps in. And again, Bridges up on the hill. Checks his runner at first. The pitch. That one fouled back to the stop. 0-1. The Brubaker steps back in, hitting from the right side of the plate. 0-1 the count. And again, Bridges back up on the hill. The pitch. That one misses away. 1-1. So Bridges back up on the hill. Brubaker steps back in. Bridges checks his runner. The pitch. That one fouled back. And into the parking lot. 1-2 rather. So Ben Bridges back up on the hill. And again, Ethan Brubaker steps back in. 1-2 the count. Bridges checks the runner, the pitch. That one away. 2-2. Brubaker steps back in. The count even at 2. One out. Here we are in the bottom half of the second inning. Blue Devils lead it 1-0 here at Randy Jordan Field. Pitch. Swung on, that ball popped up in foul territory on the run, but it'll be out of play. Still 2-2. Columbus went 1-2-3 in the first, but 2 hits here in the second, has plated a run and left one in scoring position. The count even at 2. Bridges again back up on the hill. The righty delivers. That one fouled away. And again, Brubaker steps back in. Bridges up on the hill, checks his runner at second. The pitch. Fouls that one down. 2-2. Brubaker again steps back in. Count even at 2. Bridges checks his runner, the pitch. Swung on, and that ball hit right up the middle. Come on to make the play. Fire on to first in time, but the runner moves down the line to third, and with 2 down, the Blue Devils have a little insurance just 90 feet away. So Matt Taylor now steps in. Taylor hitting in the 8th spot. So the Blue Devils move the runner over. And we'll try to get something going. The pitch. That one high. A 1-0. Hurricanes trying to get out of the inning here, just relinquishing 1 run. The pitch. That one away. 2-0. Got the 8-hitter Taylor up. Matt Taylor, a 6'1", 160-pound junior, steps in. The pitch. That one in there for a called strike. 2-1. A beautiful day for baseball here at Richard Bell Field. Or at Randy Jordan Field, rather. The pitch. That one way inside, and he hit him. So Taylor, hit by a pitch, goes to first, and that brings Zach Laughlin in. So Laughlin steps in to hit from the right side of the plate. So with 2 outs, the Hurricane outfield gets ready. Taylor Hightower comes out to set the outfield with a runner on third. And with 2 down, the 9-hitter Laughlin will step in. Runners in the corners. Bridges checks him at third. The pitch. That one in there for a called strike, 0-1. And Hurricanes will hold it right there. The Blue Devils fake the double steal, and the runner goes to second. And again, Bridges up on the hill. Runners on second and third now. And the pitch. That one in there for a called strike, 0-2. So Bridges gets ahead in the count, and Laughlin steps back in. Laughlin digs back in. Again, Bridges checks his runners at second and third. And the 0-2 pitch. That one just off the plate, 1-2. Hurricane faithful wanted that one to no avail. And Bridges back up on the hill. 1-2 pitch. That one high and away. Evens the count at 2. Laughlin gets aboard. McClendon Hill, the top of the order, moves to the on-deck circle. So Laughlin steps back in. Bridges up on the hill. Checks his runner at third, and a 2-2 pitch. That one away, full count. Laughlin down 0-2 in the count, has battled back. It's full now. 2 outs. Here we are in the bottom half of the second inning. 1-0 your score. And Bridges back up on the hill. Checks his runners at second and third. And the full count. Walks him. And they run the double steal, and they come off the bag at second, and it pulls the runner from third home, and the Canes can't get the play back to the plate fast enough. And they squeeze him in for the second run of the inning. We take a look at it again here on the replay. Hightower goes to second. Not a good throw there, and then a little bit of a hesitation from Boston, and then not a good throw back, and they can't get the play at the plate for the final inning, for the final out of the inning, and another run plates. So here we are, 2 down, bottom half of the second inning, and, well, the Blue Devils are threatening. With 2 outs, they now lead it 2-0, and we're back to the top of the order as McClendon Hill will step in. That one misses away, 1-0. So Ben Bridges back up on the hill. Gets the call from Hightower. In there for a called strike, 1-1. There you get a good look at the leadoff hitter, Hill. 0 for 1 today. Strikeout victim in the first inning. That one away, 2-1. John, it looks like Bridges leaving his ball a little high in the strike zone right now.
Yeah, and when he works that Laredo slider and Cummins sidearm, you don't want to mess with these Columbus batters, and that's the after effect.
They throw on down the line at first, and the runner is safe. The runner will hold at third as well. Bobby Howard doing a good job of creating little diversions around the other sides of the field with those runners on third. So again, Hill steps back in. Runners in the corners. That one in there for a called strike. Full count. Good looking pitch that time by Ben Bridges. So Hill steps back in. Bridges back up on the hill, trying to pitch himself out of a jam right here. Full count. And the payoff pitch about to come here after he goes to third. Bridges again checks his runner at third, and the pitch. Fouls that one back to the stop. Still full. Good job of protecting the plate that time by Hill with 2 strikes. And he steps back in. The count full, and the pitch. That one in there for called strike 3, and he gets him looking, and that'll do it. Hill goes down on strikes, but not before the Blue Devils get it done. Off a hit batter, a walk, and 2 hits. They score 2 and leave 2. We move to the top half of the third. It's Columbus 2, Cartersville nothing. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back. You're watching the Workhorse Productions High School Baseball Game of the Week as we move to the top half of the third inning, and due up for the purple and gold will be 9-1-2 as Cole Payne, Donovan Tate, and Garrison Boston will come to the plate. Cole Payne steps in for his first at bat today. The pitch from Wolf, swing and a miss that time. 0-1. Payne got out ahead on it. Wolf hit him with the first pitch changeup. Pitch. That one in away. 1-1. Cole Payne steps back in. 0-1 the count. And the pitch. That one high. 2-1. Now the scoreboard catches up with us. 2-1 the count as Payne steps back in. Stretch and the pitch by Wolf. Swung on that ball, hit off the nub of the bat, and foul. 2-2. So 2-2 the count. Here we are, nobody out. Top half of the third inning. The Hurricanes trying to get something going. So stepping in now is Cole Payne. Payne hitting from the right side of the plate. And the pitch by Wolf. Swung on, and that ball popped up in foul territory and could be out of play. And it is, right into the street adjacent Randy Jordan Field. And John, again, you see Cartersville hitters popping up.
Well, once again, you know, you've got that short porch to the right, but you also know that the pitches are always going to be on the outer half of the plate. You really don't have much choice but to go with it. Everybody wants to pull in this ballpark, and right now that's a bad idea.
So Payne steps back in, and the 2-2 pitch. Fouled back to the stop, still 2-2 now. Good at bat here for Cole Payne, if nothing else. John, it looks like he's making Wolf throw some pitches.
And that's what you need to do in a situation like this with the weather the way it is, getting into, you know, mid to late May. You want to have guys hanging out here as long as humanly possible, unless, of course, you're shooting and doing color commentary simultaneously.
So Payne steps back in. The count even at 2. That one outside, and the count goes full. Wolf not happy with the call. He wanted strike 3 that time. And again, Payne steps back in. You can hear the crowd getting into it a little bit here at Jordan Field. That ball swung on. He just kind of throws the wrist, and that ball going towards center field, but calling everybody off is the center fielder, Will Howard, to make the first out of the inning. So that brings Donovan Tate to the plate.
Now batting, the center fielder, number 20, Donovan Tate.
So Tate steps in to face Taylor Wolf. Tate will step in, hitting from the right side of the plate. Stretch in the pitch by Wolf. That one in the dirt, 1-0. Wolf back up on the hill. 1-0 pitch. That one in there for a called strike. Make it even at 1. So Tate steps back in. The pitch by Wolf swung on, and Tate fouls it back to the street. 1-2. Donovan steps in, 1-2 pitch. That one below, 2-2. So the count even now for Donovan Tate as the right-hander steps back in. Wolf back up on the hill, and the lefty delivers. Swung on, and that ball fouled down the third base line. 2-2. Cartersville, John, having a hard time getting metal on the ball today.
Yeah, and when you have a pitcher like Taylor and all he does is work the outer half of the plate and his fastball is not his primary pitch, you have to adjust. First time through the orders usually when that happens.
That ball lasered down the third base line, and Tate will beat out the throw to first. It'll be an infield single as he rocketed that one home. Tough play there for the third baseman, Brubaker, and that brings Garrison Boston to the plate with a runner aboard and only one out. Tate takes that lead off first, and Boston steps in. I would assume the Kings would try to move him over, and again, Wolf will continue to go back to first. There'll be a cat and mouse game over there for most of this at bat. Garrison Boston steps back in. Wolf up on the hill, the pitch. That one fouled back to the stop. 0-1. Garrison Boston back in the lineup this week. Steps back in, hitting in the 2 spot. 0-1 the count. Tate takes that lead off first. The pitch. That one outside, and that time they pitched it out trying to make the throw to second, but Tate didn't go, and Ben couldn't hang on to it anyway, so it could have been a stolen base very easily for Donovan Tate. Count even at 1 now for Garrison Boston. And again, he goes back to the bag at first. So Wolf continuing to play that little game on first with the runner there. Donovan takes that lead off first. Count even at 1. Here we are, 1 out in the top half of the 3rd inning. Columbus leads at 2-0 after a big inning in the bottom of the 2nd. They played it 2 runs. And now Boston steps in. And the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, that ball hit down the line at 3rd, but foul. And 1-2 the count. So Donovan Tate takes his lead off first. And the pitch. Swung on, and that ball fouled back. Still 1-2. And Wolf throwing a lot of pitches out here today. Boston steps back in. Again, they go back to the bag at first, and again, the runner is safe. One and two the count. Here we are, 1 out, top half of the 3rd inning, and Boston steps in. Wolf with the pitch. That one in there for called strike 3, and he gets him looking. So Garrison Boston strikes out, and that brings Taylor Hightower to the plate with 2 down. So Hightower comes to the plate with a runner aboard, and here we are in the top half of the 3rd inning, and a big opportunity for the Canes. Slimming a little bit right there with the strikeout of Boston. And Donovan Tate still at first base. And again, back to the bag right there. Cartersville has yet to test the arm of Travis Ben. And the pitch. That time the runner goes. They'll throw down the line to second. And they got him. Great put out that time by the catcher Travis Ben. And just as I said, they go to test him that time, and he comes up big for the final out of the inning, and that'll do it. We move to the bottom half of the 3rd. Still Columbus 2, Cartersville nothing. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back. You're watching the Workhorse Productions High School Baseball Game of the Week as we move to the bottom half of the 3rd inning, and set to lead things off here for the Blue Devils will be 2, 3, and 4 as Will Howard, Bryce Dial, and Logan Dollar will come to the plate. That pitch swung on and fouled away. And the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss that time. Make it 0-2 now to Will Howard. Howard 0 for 1 today. Flew out to center. A well-hit ball that Donovan Tate ran back against the fence. 0-2 the count as Howard steps back in. And the pitch. That one high and inside. 1-2. Howard steps back in. And the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, and that ball fouled back to the stump. And the 1-2 pitch. That one in the dirt. 2-2. Howard steps back in. And the 2-2 pitch. Swung on, and that ball hit in the infield. Coming on to make the play is Huth. Fires it on to first in time. It goes 4-3, and it's 1 up, 1 down here for the Devils in the 3rd. That brings Bryce Dial to the plate. Dial will come in to hit from the right side of the box. So Dial steps back in. First pitch misses away, 1-0. So Ben Bridges back up on the hill. Dial steps back in. And the 1-0 pitch. That one in there for a called strike, 1-1. Dial digs back in. The count even at 1. 1 down here in the 3rd. The pitch. Swung on, and that ball popped up and out of play. It'll go into the street adjacent Jordan Field. A lot of cars parked out there. I bet they must have broken windows every game out here.
I wouldn't park over there. That's why we park directly behind home plate, and it hasn't done us any good yet.
Don't jinx us there on that one. The 1-2 pitch. That one in there for called strike 3, and he gets him looking. So, John, big inning here for Ben Bridges to come back after getting rattled a little bit in the second, looking strong here in the third. So that brings Logan Dollar to the plate. Dollar 1 for 1 today, singled back in the second and later scored. First pitch. That one away, 1-0. Dollar steps back in. 1-0 the count. Here we are, 2 down. Bottom of the third, the pitch. That one in there for a called strike, 1-1. So the count even here for Logan Dollar as he steps back in. A 4-hitter here in the double lineup, the pitch. Swung on and that ball fouled out of play. And into the tree line. 1-2. Pitch by Bridges, and it gets him swinging that time, and he goes down on strikes. That time, Bridges retires the Blue Devils in order in the bottom of the third. We move to the top of the fourth, and again, Columbus 2, Cartersville nothing. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back as we move to the top half of the fourth inning. It's game 1 of a best-of-3 series in the 2008 AAA State Baseball Quarterfinals. The winner of this game has advanced on out of this bracket. The last 3 years has advanced on to the state championship series. The pitch. That one in there for a called strike to Hightower. 0-1. Hightower, Brack Barton, and Ben Bridges come to the plate this inning. 3, 4, and 5 for the Hurricanes. Hightower steps in. 0-1 pitch. That one away. 1-1. So Wolf back up on the hill. Count even at 1. Here we are, nobody out. Top of the fourth, the pitch. That one in there for a called strike. Make it 1-2 now to Hightower. Well, John, Taylor Wolf has been fairly effective here in the early goings of this game, but obviously a lot of pitches being thrown. That one away, 2-2.
And that's not a bad thing on a day like this.
Hightower steps back in. And the 2-2 pitch. That one misses away, and the count goes full now for Taylor Hightower. Huge at bat right here for the Canes. They'd like to get something going here in the fourth inning. They trail this game 2-0, and hot pitcher on the hill can be trouble. Like to get something going in this inning. That one in there for called strike 3, gets them looking, and Hightower goes down on strikes. That brings Brack Barton to the plate. So Barton will step in to hit from the right side of the plate. 1 down, here we are in the top of the fourth inning as Barton steps in. Barton 0 for 1 today, popped up to first back in the first inning, his only other plate appearance. That one outside. One and 0. Barton steps back down. And the pitch from Wolf. That one in there for a called strike, 1-1. Count even at 1 now for Taylor Wolf as the left-hander delivers. That one swung on and fouled right down the first base line. And the 1-2 pitch by Wolf. Way inside that time. Count evens up at 2. Here we are, 1 out. Top half of the fourth inning, and Barton will step back in. And the pitch. Swing and a miss that time. Barton goes down on strikes, but they're going to have to throw him out. Goes right down the line, so it's a strikeout with a 2-3 putout. And that brings Ben Bridges to the plate here in the top half of the fourth inning. So Ben Bridges will now step in. And the pitch by Wolf. That one in there for a called strike. 0-1. Oh and 1 the count. And the pitch. That one misses away, 1-1. So Ben Bridges now steps back in, the count even at 1. And the lefty Wolf delivers. That one swung on and hammered towards center field. It's high up, but it will stay in the park, and camping underneath it is Will Howard for the final out of the inning. The Hurricanes go in order here in the 4th. We move to the bottom half of the inning. It's still Columbus 2, Cartersville nothing. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back. You're watching the Workhorse Productions High School Baseball Game of the Week as we move to the bottom half of the 4th inning. First pitch. And that one away, 1-0. So 5, 6, and 7 come to the plate. Torrey Singer, Travis Ben, and Ethan Brubaker. The 1-0 pitch. That one in there for a called strike, 1-1. So Bridges back up on the hill to count even at 1. The stretch in the pitch. That one outside. 2-1. Bridges back up on the hill. The pitch, swing and a miss that time, and the count goes even at 2. Torrey Singer chased a high fastball that time. And the 2-2 pitch on the way. That one away, make it full. Again, a nice breeze just whipping through here right now. And again, Singer steps back in. That one misses away, and he walks him. So a leadoff walk for Torrey Singer, and that brings Travis Ben to the plate. So a runner aboard here for Columbus. And Ben steps in. That one in the dirt. 1-0. Ben steps back in. And the 1-0 pitch. That one fouled down. Make it 1-1. John, a hot day out here today, and some of the mental edge right now going to Columbus, but a lot of baseball to be played.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me it's a hot day out here today. And, you know, when you get into the mental, it's all about focus, especially later on in the day when we're going to be playing the second game of this series. It'll come up big a lot later.
They lay down the bunt down the first baseline. Bridges fields it, throws on to first in time, and the runner advances over. So Singer moves down the line on the sacrifice. Ben is out 1-3, and it brings Brubaker to the plate. So Ethan Brubaker will step in. Brubaker 0 for 1 today, grounded out to short back in his first at bat. Runner on second with 1 out. The pitch swung on, and that ball hammered towards center field, but right into the glove of Donovan Tate. Second out of the inning.
Now batting the right fielder, Matt Taylor.
So Matt Taylor now steps in. So Taylor steps in. Reached when he was hit by a pitch back in the second inning. Time is called. Here we are, 2 down with the runner in scoring position, bottom half of the 4th inning. Hurricanes trying to get out of this one and get their bats back to the plate. So Matt Taylor steps in. Again, Bridges checks his runner at second. The pitch. That one away. 1-0. Taylor steps back in. Bridges checks that runner at second. 1-0 pitch. Fouled away, make it 1-1. Count even at 1. Infield moving around. Ball got loose away from Garrison Boston. Boston had second base blocked pretty well, but didn't make the catch, and then had a chance to apply that tag and get the out there at second base. Count will remain 1-1. The pitch. That one away. 2-1. So Taylor steps back in, hitting from the right side of the plate. And the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss that time, make it 2-2. The count even at 2 with 2 outs. And the pitch. Swing and a miss that time, and he goes down on strikes for the final out of the inning. After yielding a walk, they retire him in order, and we move to the top half of the 5th. It's still Columbus 2, Cartersville nothing. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back. You're watching the Workhorse Productions High School Baseball Game of the Week as we move to the top half of the 5th inning. So far, it's been all Columbus. They lead it 2-0 after a big bottom of the 2nd. And now the Hurricanes will bring 6, 7, and 8 to the plate as Adam Thurman, Jared Watley, and Chris Huth will have an opportunity here for the purple and gold. Thurman steps in. First pitch. Swung on, and that ball ripped down the line. It's in for a base hit, and Thurman is aboard. So the Hurricanes have a base runner. So Jared Watley makes his way to the plate now. Watley doubled back in the 2nd. So Taylor Wolf back up on the hill. Wolf has been very aggressive with the runner on first, going back to the first base bag. That ball swung on, hitting the gap, it's down. They'll throw on to second, not in time, and it'll be an infield single for Watley. And the Hurricanes, with back-to-back hits, bring Chris Huth to the plate. And now with nobody out and a runner in scoring position, the Hurricanes grabbed a little bit of momentum here in the top of the 5th inning. That brings Travis Ben from behind the plate, and Wolf will step back up on the hill. So Chris Huth now steps in. Nobody out, runners aboard on first and second, and Huth steps in. Wolf checks his runner at second. The pitch, that one outside, 1-0. Huth steps back in. 1-0 the count. The pitch. That one outside. Make it 2-0. Huth steps back in. 2-0 the count. Wolf back up on the hill. The lefty checks his runner at second. The pitch. Squared around to bunt that time. In there for the called strike. 2-1. Huth looks down the third baseline. He got the sign from Stuart Chester and now steps in the box. 2-1 the count with runners aboard on first and second. They fire on back to the bag at second where the runner is safe. Nice job that time by Adam Thurman to get back under the tag. Nice move inside by the Columbus middle infield. 2-1. Hill and Laughlin in on the play. And the pitch by Wolf. That time he lays down the bunt down the first base line, and not in time. They throw it away. They're going to bring a run home, and the Hurricanes plate one run, make it 2-1, and they'll hold up with runners in the corners, and a huge play defensively. It goes E4, and the Hurricanes have got a base runner and a run. 2-1 your game right now. Here we are in the top half of the 5th inning. Cole Payne up, runners in the corners. And Cole Payne, with just a fly ball, could tie this game up. So Cole Payne now steps in, 2-1 the count. Still nobody out. Here we are in the top half of the 5th inning. Donovan Tate moves to the on-deck circle. So Cole Payne steps in. And the pitch. That one inside, 1-0. I don't think it's going to go E4. I think that's actually going to be a base hit. What do you think, John?
Yeah, I think because the idea of actually getting to the ball to make the throw, he would have been safe regardless. I'll agree with you there.
So Payne now steps back in. He squares around a bunt, sends it right down the first base line. They'll get the out at first, but the runner at third will stay put. And now Donovan Tate steps in. A fly ball could tie the game right here with only one out. So Tate steps in with 2 in scoring position. A base hit could give the Hurricanes their first lead of the game and the series. And they're going to intentionally walk Donovan Tate and load the bases for Garrison Boston. So Boston will now step in. So Garrison Boston with an opportunity to give the Hurricanes a little rise right here. Wolf with nowhere to put anyone. Bases loaded, 1 out. Here we are in the top of the 5th. Checks his runner at second. The pitch. Swung on. That ball hit down the third base line, but foul. 0-1. Boston steps back in. Boston gets aboard. Taylor Hightower due up next. And Wolf delivers. That one high and away, 1-1. The walk is as good as a hit here for the purple and gold as Boston steps back in. So 1-1 the count. And the pitch. That one away. 2-1 now to Garrison Boston. Seems like every game we've done, John, the pitchers seem to work very quickly. It's kind of slowing down a little bit here in this Columbus series.
Yeah, you're going to have to use these moments to think because you really can't afford to throw a bad pitch here because it could go anywhere from 1 to 4 runs on the board on the bad.
2-1 on the way. It's high. 3-1 now to Garrison Boston. And now it has to be a perfect pitch here from Taylor Wolf or the Hurricanes will tie it. Boston steps in. Wolf up on the hill. 3-1 on the way. That one high, and we're tied at 2. An RBI walk for Garrison Boston, and the Hurricanes are on the scoreboard. So just like that, a big turn of events. Still 1 out. Now the base is loaded for Taylor Hightower. John, we haven't seen a pitching coach come out of the dugout to talk things over with Wolf. It just shows you how much confidence they have in this young man.
Yeah, and with Wolf early on, you noticed leading into this inning, it was always away, 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 and then pitch inside to get the out. Early in this inning, they were going after first pitch fastballs, and they've taken advantage of this change in their hitting philosophy.
So Wolf back up on the hill. Taylor Hightower back at the plate. We're tied at 2 here in the 5th. The pitch. That one away. 1-0 now to Hightower. Hightower steps back in. 1-0 the count. Chris Huth just 90 feet away represents the go-ahead run for Cartersville. And again, Hightower steps in. 1-0 pitch. That one in the dirt. 2-0. Taylor Wolf back up on the hill. 2-0 the count, and Hightower steps back in. Wolf steps in, pitches. That one high. Make it 3-0 now to Hightower. And now Hightower will most likely make Wolf throw 3 perfect pitches. Huge at bat here for Cartersville. A walk just as good as a hit here for Hightower. Wolf back up on the hill. Checks his runners, the pitch. That one in there for a called strike, 3-1. Raises it by the knees. Hightower steps back in. Three-one pitch on the way. That one misses low. He walks them, and the merry-go-round has another quarter in it, and the Hurricanes have grabbed a 3-2 advantage here in the top half of the 5th inning. And now Brack Barton steps in with the bases loaded and still only 1 out. And now you see Coach Howard coming out of the dugout. John, what does he say right here, or does he even make the change? And I think he will.
I think we use those hand motions. I think we got our answer, so we're going to have some switches all over the place here for Bobby Howard.
So we'll take the Wynn Pontiac Buick GMC call to the bullpen and be right back after this. You're watching the Workhorse Productions High School Baseball Game of the Week. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back. Here we are, still top half of the 5th inning. 3-2 your score, and the big stick of Brack Barton moves to the plate with the bases loaded and only 1 out. Big at bat right here for the Canes. And a new pitcher as Ethan Brubaker checks into the game. The pitch way inside, 1-0 now to Brack Barton. That ball swung on and ripped into right field. It's going back to the fence. That ball gone. A grand slam for Brack Barton, and the Hurricanes have opened it up here at Randy Jordan Field. What a shot by the 5-hitter as he takes that one deep, and Brack Barton makes a statement here at Columbus. The Hurricanes have grabbed a 7-2 advantage, all their runs coming here in the 5th inning. Well, John, they left that one hang, and Brack Barton made him pay.
Yeah, and that's what you can't do in a situation like this. You know, it's a pressure situation for Brubaker, but you wanted to try and get another couple of pitches under your belt before you did something like that.
First pitch to Ben Bridges in there for a called strike. 0-1. So again, Brubaker up on the hill. The 0-1 pitch swung on, and that ball fouled down the third base line. 0-2. This game eerily similar to what happened last time we were here when Dunwoody came down here. Seemed like Columbus had a lead, and then Dunwoody just exploded in a later inning. The stretch and the pitch. That one in the dirt, but said he came around. Second out of the inning. So Bridges, a strikeout victim. And so Adam Thurman now steps in to hit for the second time this inning. So the Hurricanes have sent 10 batters to the plate. The pitch. That one in there for a called strike, 0-1. Thurman steps back in. The 0-1 pitch. That one off the plate, 1-1. And the 1-1 pitch on the way. A swing and a miss that time. They get 1-2. Again, that wind starting to pick up, blowing straight in from the right field fence. And the 1-2 pitch. That one misses away, make it 2-2 now. And you can still hear that wind blowing. The count even at 2 with 2 down. Here we are in the top half of the 5th. The pitch. That one in there for called strike 3. He gets him looking, but that will do it. The Hurricanes get it done, plating 7 runs here in the top half of the 5th inning. We move to the bottom half. It's now Cartersville 7, Columbus 2. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back. You're watching the Workhorse Productions High School Baseball Game of the Week as we now move to the bottom half of the 5th inning. And due up for Columbus here is Zach Laughlin as 9-1-2 will come to the plate. Ben Bridges up on the hill here for the Canes. That one fouls back to the stop, 0-1. Laughlin steps back in, the pitch. That one in there for a called strike, 0-2. Laughlin steps back in, the count 0-2. Stretch in the pitch. Again, he fouls it back to the stop, still 0-2. Nobody out, here we are, bottom half of the 5th inning. 9-1-2 due up here for the Blue Devils. Laughlin, Hill, and Howard set to take the plate. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and he goes down on strikes. So Laughlin, a strikeout victim here. The Hurricanes kick it around the infield. The sun went behind a cloud here at Randy Jordan Field. And that brings the top of the order to the plate as McClendon Hill will step in. Hill 0 for 2 today. Struck out in the first and got caught looking in the second. That time he tries to bunt it down, fouls it away, 0-1. Oh, and 1 the count. Will Howard moves to the on-deck circle. 0-1 pitch. That one fouled away. Make it 0-2. Hill steps back in. Bridges up on the hill. 0-2 pitch. Fouls it back to the stop. Still 0-2. Hill steps back in. Bridges back up on the mound. And the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, that ball hitting the infield. Bridges picks it up. Fields it easily. It goes 1-3, and it's the second out of the inning, and that brings Will Howard to the plate. John, it looked like that ball was just kind of gingerly hit back up to the pitcher, almost surprised Bridges when it found it in his glove.
Yeah, when you follow through like that and you're heading toward first and you've got a ball coming at you, it doesn't matter how hard it's hit, you're going to have that level of surprise. But Bridges seems to be throwing free and easy. Of course, anybody would with a 5-run lead now.
First pitch to Howard, high and away. 1-0. Howard steps back in. And the 1-0 pitch. Swung on, and that ball ripped toward right field, going back toward the fence, and that ball gone. A solo shot for Will Howard makes it a 7-3 game. And a rocket right off of his bat. And that time, Bridges just left that one in the wheelhouse, and Will Howard just took care of business. So that brings Bryce Dial to the plate. The pitch. That one fouled away. 1-1 or 0-1. Scoreboard a little off in right center field. There we got it. 0-1 the count. Again, Bridges back up on the hill. Stretching the pitch. Time did he come around? He did not. 1-1. So Bryce Dial steps back in. Bridges with the pitch. That one in the dirt. Make it 2-1. Ben Bridges back up on the hill. 2-1 pitch. Fouled back to the stop. It evens it up at 2. So Bryce Dial now steps back in. And 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and he goes down on strikes for the final out of the inning, and that will do it. But the Blue Devils do get it done off one hit. It was a long one. They score one. It's 7-3 as we move to the top of the sixth. You're watching the Workhorse Productions High School Baseball Game of the Week. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back. You're watching the Workhorse Productions High School Baseball Game of the Week as we move to the top half of the sixth inning. Canes lead it 7-3. If you're just joining us, it was a huge inning for the Cartersville Hurricanes in the fifth inning. They played it 7 runs, capped off by a grand slam by Brack Barton. 3 RBI walks and then a long one, and about the worst situation for the Columbus pitchers that you could have seen in that inning, but they have battled back a little bit. It's 7-3, and the Canes will try to add to it here in the sixth. The pitch, swing and a miss that time. Ethan Brubaker threw it right by Jared Watley. A 7, 8, and 9 will come to the plate here for the Canes. This has really been the heart of the Hurricane lineup, this 6, 7, 8, and 9 throughout the season. The 0-1 pitch swung on, and that ball delivered into right field. It's down for a base hit, and Watley is aboard. Watley brought in as a DH here in the postseason and has delivered. So Chris Huth will now step in. Watley and Thurman got things going back in the fifth inning with back-to-back hits, and now Huth will step in as well. Cartersville trying to make it happen here. Nobody out and a runner aboard as Watley takes that lead off first. Brubaker up on the hill. He fires back to the bag, and the runner is safe. Brubaker up on the hill. Huth steps in. First pitch, tries to lay down the bunt, but fouls it away, 0-1. Watley had a nice jump and would have easily been on to second. A good bunt, just went a little bit too far down the right field line. Down the first base line, 0-1 the count. Still nobody out. Here we are, top half of the sixth inning. So far, a beautiful day for baseball. And the 0-1 pitch. That time he lays it down right through the middle of the infield. They'll throw on to first in time, but the runner is advanced over to second on the sacrifice. So Cole Payne now steps in with a runner in scoring position and only 1 out. Payne gets aboard. Donovan Tate due up next. Payne will step in. Still only 1 out here in the top of the sixth inning. Payne steps in. Again, Brubaker up on the hill. Infield moving around, and Watley will stay right there. Pitch. Swing and a miss that time to Payne. 0-1. Cole Payne steps back in. The 0-1 pitch. Swung on. That ball hit down the third base line. They'll hold the runner and throw across the diamond. Good play defensively for the second out of the inning, and that brings Donovan Tate to the plate. Unfortunately for Huth, John, he hit that one right down the line, right to the third baseman. He was standing on the bag and had a great view of the infield.
Yeah, and you're set up pretty much when you've seen what Brubaker's been throwing so far to want to pull the ball and go against the breeze. But the way that Coach Howard had the defense set up, it was perfect to keep the runner at second.
So now the top of the order coming to the plate is Donovan Tate will step in with a runner in scoring position and 2 out. The pitch. Swing and a miss that time, and Tate was looking for the fences. Brubaker back up on the hill. The count 0-1 here to Donovan Tate. Tate 1 for 2 with an RBI walk. The pitch swung on, or I'm sorry, not an RBI walk, just a walk. They loaded the bases intentionally with him there. He later scored. Tate steps back in. 0-2 pitch. That one outside. Make it 1-2 now to Donovan Tate. Brubaker heads back up on the hill. Donovan steps back in as the sun goes behind a cloud momentarily. 1-2. Swung on, and that ball lifted towards center field, but on the run is Bruce Dial, and he'll make the final out of the inning, and that will do it. The Hurricanes get it done off a hit. They leave one. We move to the bottom of the 6th. It's still Cartersville 7, Columbus 3. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back. Here we move to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Due up here for Columbus, a home team in game 1, 4, 5, and 6. Logan Dollar, Torrey Singer, and Travis Ben. So Dollar will step in. The pitch. That one inside, 1-0. Bridges back up on the hill. 1-0 pitch. That one outside, 2-0. Dollar steps back in. And the 2-0 pitch. Swung on, and that ball launched to short. Coming on to make the play is Boston. He fires it across the diamond in time. Goes 6-3. Great defensive effort that time by Garrison Boston. And great heads-up move, John. He tracked that one all the way from the plate.
Yeah, and that's what you've got to do in the late innings. You've got to make sure that nothing gets behind you. And the way that they've been playing defense behind Bridges, it looks that way. But my biggest question for you, Scott, is how much of a leash is Coach Chester going to give Bridges as we get into these later innings here?
Well, we'll see. We'll see if they make the change anytime, but he seems to be on his game right now. 0-1 the count now to Singer. The pitch. That one misses away, 1-1. Bridges back up on the hill. Again, Singer steps back in. 1-1 pitch. Swung on, and that ball ripped into left field. It's down for a base hit. And Torrey Singer is aboard. So Travis Ben will now step in with a runner at first and only one out. Cartersville dugout is moving the outfield around. Singer has pulled the ball Ben has pulled the ball the last couple times he's hit it. Back in the 2nd inning, he had a huge double that scored a run where he just tripped it between the bag and Cole Payne, pulling it down the third base line. 0-1 the count as he fouled the first pitch off. Bridges again checks his runner. The pitch. That one outside. 1-1. One and one the count. Bridges up on the hill. The pitch. That one outside. They throw on down the bag at first, and the runner is safe. Torrey Singer and Brack Barton with a little bit of a collision there at first. With the throw down the line. 2-1 the count. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss that time. Make it 2-2 now to Travis Ben. Ben steps back in. Count even at 2. The pitch. Swing and a miss, and he goes down on strikes. Huge play defensively for Cartersville. They get the second out of the inning, and now stepping in is Ethan Brubaker with an opportunity to help his own cause here. Brubaker with a runner aboard and 2 outs steps in to face Ben Bridges. Pitch. That one in there for a called strike, 0-1. Bridges back up on the hill. Gets the sign from Hightower. 0-1 pitch. Swung on, and that ball popped up. Should stay in the infield. Bridges calling everybody off. Makes the final out of the inning, and that'll do it. The Blue Devils get it done off a hit. They leave one. We move to the top of the 7th. It's Cartersville 7, Columbus 3. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back. You're watching the Workhorse Productions High School Baseball Game of the Week as we now move to the top half of the 7th inning, and due up for Cartersville will be 2, 3, and 4 as Boston, Hightower, and Barton will step in. Cartersville looking for a little insurance, and then they'll look for 3 outs. Warming up in the Hurricane pen is Chris Huth, and many expect him to be possibly the Game 3 starter, maybe even a Game 2 starter, depending on the situation. But I think if Cartersville is to win this game and hang on here with a 4-run lead, I would expect to see Huth in Game 3 and go with Adam Thurman in Game 2. But that brings Garrison Boston in. Boston will lead things off here in the 7th. The pitch. That one away, 1-0. Garrison Boston 1 for 2 today. Singled back in the first, struck out looking in the third, and registered an RBI walk in the 5th. 1-0 pitch. That one in there for a called strike, 1-1. Ethan Brubaker up on the hill in relief of Taylor Wolf. And again, Brubaker up on the hill. And the 1-1 pitch. That one in there for a called strike, 1-2 to Garrison Boston. Boston steps back in. And the 1-2 pitch. That one fouled back and onto the street. Still 1-2. The pitch. Fouled back to the stop. 1-2. So Boston steps back in. The count 1-2. And the pitch. Swing and a miss that time, and Garrison Boston goes down on strikes. That brings Taylor Hightower to the plate. So Hightower steps in. 0 for 2 with an RBI walk today. He'll step in to hit from the right side of the plate. And Brack Barton moves to the on-deck circle. Cartersville with 8 hits today, scored 7 runs. Pitch. That one in the dirt, 1-0. Hightower, who's signed with Ole Miss. Be a Rebel next year. And the 1-0 pitch. That one in there for a called strike, 1-1. Hightower steps back in. Stretch in the pitch. That one in there for a called strike, 1-2 to Hightower. Hightower steps back in. 1-2 pitch. That one in there for called strike 3, and he gets him looking. So back-to-back strikeouts for Ethan Brubaker. And now Brack Barton steps in. After giving up the grand slam to Barton, Brubaker has successfully managed the Hurricanes. He's retired 7 of 8 since coming in. Since the grand slam, I guess, not since coming in. That one low and inside, 1-0. I don't think he'll play around with Brack Barton. He parked one right over the center field fence the last time he was up. And the 1-0 pitch. That one in there for a called strike, 1-1. So Barton steps back in. Brubaker up on the hill. 1-1 pitch. That one in the dirt, make it 2-1. Barton back up on the hill, or back in the box rather. Brubaker on the hill. Called strike, 2-2. Barton steps back in. Brubaker gets the sign. And the right-hander delivers. Swung on, and that ball fouled down the third base line. Still 2-2. Barton gets aboard. Ben Bridges would be due up next. And the 2-2 pitch. In there for called strike 3. Gets him looking, and that'll do it. We move to the bottom half of the 7th inning of Game 1, and the Hurricanes will look for 3. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back. You're watching the Workhorse Productions High School Baseball Game of the Week, and we move to the bottom half of the 7th inning, and the Hurricanes will look for 3. 8, 9, and 1 due up here for the Blue Devils. Matt Taylor, Zach Laughlin, and McClendon Hill will step in here and try to get something done in the bottom of the 7th. They trail at 7-3. Ben Bridges still on the hill. The first pitch in there for a called strike, 0-1. Taylor steps back in. Bridges back up on the hill. The 0-1 pitch. That one just off the plate, 1-1. Bridges again back up on the hill. Gets the sign from Hightower. The count even at 1. 1-1 pitch. Swung on, and that ball ripped into center field. It's going to fall in for a base hit. Canes pick it up quickly and get it back in, but it is a leadoff single for Matt Taylor. So Zach Laughlin now steps in. So with a runner on first, Laughlin, the 9-hitter, steps in to face Ben Bridges. They throw him back to the bag at first, and the runner is safe. That time, the pickoff move for Taylor was closer than you think. That one in there for a called strike, 0-1. Taylor taking that lead off first. The 0-1 pitch swung on and fouled down the third base line, 0-2. So Laughlin will now step back in. The count 0-2. Bridges gets his sign. Pitch. That one in there for called strike 3, and he gets him looking. So Laughlin goes down on strikes. Now the Canes are 2 outs away from a Game 1 victory, and that brings McClendon Hill to the plate. Hill has yet to leave the infield, though, here in Game 1. Strikeout victim in the first and the second. Grounded back to the pitcher in the 5th. The pitch. Swung on, that ball fouled away, 0-1. Hill steps back in. The 0-1 pitch. Swung on, and that ball hit right back to the pitcher. Fires it over to second. In time. So Taylor is out on the fielder's choice. And that brings Will Howard to the plate. So Howard will step in with 2 outs and a runner aboard. Howard went deep in his last at-bat. The pitch swung on, and that ball hitting the gap. It's down for a base hit. They will hold the runners at first and second. Good solid piece of hitting by Will Howard. So Bryce Dial now steps in. So Dial now steps in with 2 down and runners aboard on first and second. Hurricanes can play the easiest base for the final out of Game 1. And the pitch by Bridges. That one in there for a called strike, 0-1. Dial steps back in. Bridges checks his runner at second. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss that time. Got him with the changeup, 0-2. Dial steps back in. 0-2 the count. Runners aboard on first and second. 2 out here in the bottom of the 7th of game 1. Bridges checks his runner at second. And the pitch. That time just misses away. 1-2. Hurricane faithful wanted the strikeout. Didn't get it. He left it just a little bit high. 1-2. Dial steps back in. And the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and he goes down on strikes, and the Hurricanes have grabbed game 1. The final 7-3 here at Randy Jordan Field. We'll take a quick break and break it all down. You're watching high school coverage of the 2008 AAA State Baseball Tournament. This is the quarterfinals. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back, and there you have the final in game number 1, 7-3, as Cartersville grabs a 1-0 advantage. And John, obviously a big first game for the Canes, but with a lot more baseball to be played.
Yeah, and you need momentum in a situation like this, and especially, in as hostile a territory as Columbus is known to be. Great pitching performance by Ben Bridges. He gets into jams, had an entire defensive effort behind you. They always tell you they got 7 guys behind you to get you out of jams, and that happened today for Bridges.
So a big win for the Canes here in game 1, but that's happened before. Now the key is what happens in game number 2. We take a look at some of the final numbers here in the first game. Getting the win for the Canes was Ben Bridges. He went 7 complete, faced 30 batters, gave up 6 hits, 3 runs. They were all earned. He had 2 walks, 10 strikeouts, gave up 1 home run, and hit 1 batter. Taking the loss today was Taylor Wolf. He went 4 1/3, faced 21 batters, gave up 6 hits, 6 runs. They were all earned. He had 3 walks and 4 strikeouts. Ethan Brubaker worked 2 2/3, faced 10 batters, gave up 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned. He had no walks and 5 strikeouts. He also gave up the big home run, the grand slam by Brack Barton. Taking a look at some of the hitters for Columbus. McClendon Hill 0 for 4, Will Howard 2 for 4 with a home run. Bryce Dial 0 for 4, Logan Dollar 1 for 3. Torrey Singer was 1 for 2 with a walk. Travis Ben was 1 for 3. Ethan Brubaker 0 for 3. Matt Taylor 1 for 2 is hit by a pitch. And Zach Laughlin 0 for 2 with a walk in the Columbus loss. For the Hurricanes, Donovan Tate 1 for 3 with a walk. Garrison Boston 1 for 3 with a walk. Taylor Hightower was 0 for 3 with an RBI walk. Brack Barton was 1 for 4 with a grand slam, drove in 4 runs. Ben Bridges 0 for 3. Adam Thurman 1 for 3. Jared Watley went 3 for 3 today with a double. And Chris Huth 1 for 3, also had a sacrifice, and Cole Payne 0 for 3 in the Hurricane win. Game 2 will be up in just a few minutes. Stay tuned. You're watching the Workhorse Productions High School Baseball Game of the Week. We'll be right back after this.